we have a bit of a different video here. Rather than my usual overviews, this is still an overview. I actually have the firearm with me right now. Say hello to the Hammerli Tac R1. So, who are Hammerli? Let's start off with that, because it's a brand that a lot of Americans may not have actually heard of. The Europeans may know it a little bit more. Now, Hammerli was once a Swiss arms manufacturer, but now it is owned by the Karl Warfer Group of companies based in Germany. So the Tac R1 is a 2.2 long rifle based AR-15 clone, which features very similar controls, weight, parts of that of a fully fledged AR-15. And it is the first rifle in its defense lineup. Now the rifle is a couple years old now, however the one I've got in front of me here is brand new. So let's go over a couple features of this rifle. So first off, it has an adjustable buttstock with 5 different positions alongside quick disconnect, swing, swivel points. It has a selective safety switch, a flash hider attached by 1/2 28 threads, a bolt hold open empty magazine, an adjustable gas system adjusted using the Allen key provided, and flip up polymer sights. Now, as standard, the gun is expected to be used with high velocity rounds. Now, in all of my shooting so far, I have used Ely Force, which are 42 gram high velocity 2.2 long rifle rounds. A couple of tech specs for anybody interested. It has a barrel length of 16.1 inches and a weight overall of 2.6 kilo with an empty magazine in it. It has an aluminium upper and lower receiver with a free floating 13-inch handguard, both with M-Lok and Picatinny rail, so there's plenty of different options for your attachments. It has a 3.85 kilogram trigger weight, which is actually quite a lot, and if you would want a sensitive trigger, you can swap it out due to the nature of the gun being used AR-15 style parts. And it can come with a 10 or 20 round magazine as standard. Now mine came with a 10 round magazine that I've got right here. However, I did pick up a 20 round magazine for about £30 here in the UK. Now what do I like about this rifle? I've only owned it for about 2 weeks now, and I've taken it down the range twice every Sunday since I've owned it. I like its all metal build design, and it has a high quality feel. That's one of the reasons I chose it over the competitors, is because it doesn't really have a load of plastic on it. It's a very, very nice, sturdy metal. It has a price of around 500 Great British pounds at the time of recording, which is less than a Smith & Wesson M&P 1522, which I personally think has a lower quality feel, especially after held one before. It feels a bit plasticky and tacky. This does not. I also like the adjustable gas system for allowing different velocity rounds. High velocity will cycle through as standard. However, if you do have slightly subsonics, you might be able to adjust it to make them work properly. Now, what do I not like? The standard flip-up sights are difficult to adjust the elevation of, specifically the front one. There is no elevation tool included to allow you to easily adjust. You can pick up one on eBay, and I've found adjusting this on the range is very difficult and time consuming. So if you preset it to 50 meters or 25 meters, best to keep it at that. I also don't like the heavy trigger pull weight. Now for me, I'm not using this for any sort of accurate target shooting as such. I'm using it for double tapping and having a bit of fun and practical shooting. It doesn't bother me, but if you're somebody that likes a light trigger, this might not be for you. However, what I do have to say is that I love a 2.2 long rifle caliber AR-15. As if it wasn't in 2.2 long rifle, here in England I wouldn't be able to own it in the semi-automatic. It would have to be straight pull or a different mechanism. Alongside this, 2.2 is pretty cheap, coming in at around £4.50, £5 a box of 50 here. That's not bad. Now the rifle will still be perfectly effective for ranges up to 100 meters or possibly further if you've got a good optic and sighted in. Now in my tests I tried to use the standard iron sights but couldn't adjust them to get a good zero, and I tried to use a cheap air rifle red dot I have that once again I couldn't get it zeroed properly. It was too old and it just wouldn't zero. So I have now gone ahead and since purchased a new scope, a new red dot to put on the rifle that you'll see in future videos. Now for anyone that was wondering, and I probably should have done this at the start of the video here, the gun is unloaded. There is no magazine and there is a breaching flag inside. Just to prove this, I'll bring back the charging handle. There we go, there's a little flag. We'll place it back in. And I'll let the charging handle close. Now like you just saw, the charging handle does not hold back when there is no magazine within, which is why it's important to have this little flag in. Now for those of you that might have just got this rifle or are thinking about getting it, let me give you a quick guide on how to simply operate it. This is your rifle, unloaded with the breaching flag in. To simply function the rifle, get your magazine, place it into the mag well, pull back the charging handle. The charging handle will now lock back the action. Once the action is locked back, you can simply remove your breaching flag, remove your magazine. You can see now it's held open, and this will allow you to put in a proper breaching flag that will go further down the barrel. You can then proceed to load your magazine. When your magazine is loaded, you can safely place it back into the mag well. There's a nice satisfying click when you do that. Your mag release is a simple button on the side. It's a simple push to operate. Now, once you're ready to shoot, you have to do something before that. You have to first pull back the charging handle to load the round into the chamber. In this case, there is nothing here, so it will not close the chamber. So to simulate it, I'm just going to drop it out. And there we go. We can imagine it's now loaded. On the back side, or the left-hand side of the gun, there is a selective safety switch. You simply switch that from safe to fire, like so. To engage your pop-up sights, you simply press the button on the left-hand side of the elevation and windage, or the rear and front sights. And there you are. You're now ready to shoot your rifle. To adjust the windage on the standard iron sights, your rear sight is used to do this. You simply turn the dial on the right of the sight to change your windage from right or left. To adjust your elevation, it's slightly more difficult. You have to depress down this button right here behind the front sight, and at the same time twist the sight round the way you want it to go. Now one thing you'll see if you're using this rifle 50 yards or further and by reading the manual, your aperture has two separate slots. You have the front sight up, or the front aperture, sorry, if you're shooting above 50 yards or 50 meters. If you're shooting below that, simply drop it down by pushing it forward. And that's it. That's my brief overview of the Hammerli Tac R1. Future videos to come with this gun include a 3-month full review after I have more experience with shooting it, different optics and different attachments I've decided to use, why I have them, where I got them from, the budget they are and so forth. And I can tell you right now, I certainly have an optic review coming up on this red dot I bought. If you want a hint, it's a primary arms red dot sight, but very much on the budget end. Now, if you do have any questions about this rifle or any of the other ones you've seen in my previous videos, do feel free to leave a comment, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.